Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a video on Iron Man Infinity War for Dummies. So like always, if you guys need to read the abilities or anything, just pause the video. I go through it kind of quick here, so I apologize to those who like to read while I talk, but you're just gonna have to pause it. I'm trying to cut back on how long this video would be, and with original footage it was like 25 minutes long, so I'm trying to keep it under 20. So Iron Man Infinity War is way more than just a defender. He's got tons of utility, and he's not the best at anything, but he can do a lot of things. So for like a progressing player who needs someone who can do a lot of stuff and cover a lot of ground, Iron Man Infinity War can cover that. So also with Magneto's new buff, House of X Magneto to be exact, the synergy that Magneto has with himself and the pre-fight really benefit Iron Man Infinity War a lot, and I like to run Iron Man with this Magneto. And Iron Man also really benefits from the synergy with Stealth Suit Spider-Man. The synergy increases Iron Man's duration of his Incinerate and Plasma effects by 50%, which makes him very easy to use, and he's kind of hard to manage. You have to play really aggressive without the synergy. So all the footage in this video will be shown with the synergy. So Iron Man's damage ramp up relies solely on damage over time effects. Your special 2 gives you an Incinerate, and then your special 1 here will give you a shot. So once you have these two active, you can parry, land a heavy attack, and that repulsor attack from the chest merges the two into a plasma passive. You can also merge the two debuffs together to form the plasma passive using a repulsor attack other than your heavy, like a medium attack or one of the light attacks, but you lose some damage when doing that. The heavy attack, the first repulsor hit, it has a attack increase that will increase the plasma passive damage. The plasma passive is refreshed by all your repulsor attacks. The first hit of your heavy, your first medium, a couple of your lights in the combo, and you can end the combo with a light attack. That's a repulsor hit. And the last two beams that you shoot out of your special 1, that also counts as a repulsor attack. As you can see, it refreshed. So now we're going to get to some champs that Iron Man can counter. Starting with Iceman. He starts the fight with an armor passive, which makes him bleed and cold snap immune. And also, if you were in a stun immune scenario and you couldn't get rid of Iceman's armor buff, the second hit of a heavy attack, it gives the opponent an armor break. So it would get rid of that armor up that Iceman has. Thing to note, Iron Man's special 3, it gives you a 100% chance to get a plasma passive, and then the chance decreases by 20% for every plasma you have active. So the first time's 100%, second time's 80%, and so on and so forth. But next we have Korg. So due to Iron Man Infinity War's first medium attack being an energy-based attack, you could just do a medium, light, 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 light combo, and he is now a Korg counter. So again, in this situation, Korg is shock immune, so I would immediately go to my special 3 because no champ is immune to plasma debuffs. So normally Iron Man's not the best counter to Korg, but in variant 3, there's a really annoying Korg there that has a biohazard node, and you start the fight with an armor up passive, and if you play aggressive, you have a 24% chance on any attack, or if you're being struck, to grant yourself another one. So the armor ups make him bleed immune, so it makes him a pretty decent counter to that Korg. So now another annoying defender that he can counter is Killmonger. And the first hit is energy based, and then the second hit places an armor break, so now you don't have to worry about the reverberation. One of my old Alliance mates actually used a rank 5 Iron Man Infinity War in Alliance War, not on defense but on attack, because he can counter so many annoying defenders. And also his reasoning was that he used to take some of the stun immune nodes, and that requires you to take blocked hits if you need to counter with a heavy attack. And he actually has one of the highest block proficiencies in the game at 72%. So normally my Iron Man just sits on defense, but I've been wanting to use him more. I've been forcing myself to take him into the Cavalier event quest when I can. But here, now we have Mordo. So as you see here, I parry and I attack him with a medium attack, but he doesn't evade. His evade fails. That's because his repulsor hits cannot be evaded. Well, to reiterate, first hit of his heavy, his first medium, the second and fourth light attacks are repulsor attacks. so these attacks can't be evaded, but that still leaves a chance for the first light attack and the third light attack to be evaded. But certain characters who have a percent chance to evade, this makes him a decent evade counter. And if that's not enough utility, he also has a bit of power control too. He's not great against characters who have external sources of power gain, like a power gain buff, but like Energize or something, he can still counter. So if the opponent is suffering from a plasma passive or a shock debuff, your repulsor attacks generate 0 power for them, and they also drain up to 2.5% of their current stored power. So I don't know what the bug was with my stuns in this matchup. I don't know why I was staying so close. I don't know why I wasn't being pushed back. But as you see here, once I start doing my full 5-hit combos, you'll see that I push him over 3 bars of power and then it comes back down. I push him over and it comes back down. If I had a way to counter Do Not Go Gentle in this fight without pushing him over 3 bars of power, I would have recorded the whole fight, but this is just to showcase his power control. So in theory, if there's no external source of power gain, and you have a shock debuff or a plasma passive, you never have to worry about taking a special 3. So now I'm jumping into some Act 6. This is Chapter 4, Quest 1, and this fight against Deadpool, there's no nodes, but it also shows another bit of utility that Iron Man has. So the third hit of Iron Man's heavy attack, if the opponent is regenerating, and this doesn't have to be a regeneration buff, it's literally just the effects of regeneration. It places a 16-second heal block on the opponent. And if I was playing this a bit smarter, I would have done it earlier just to avoid Deadpool's regen, but as you see here, the third hit placed that heal block, and now he's no longer healing. Another cool bit of utility on his special 2, it has a chance to stun, and that's, to be exact, a 34% chance for each armor break on the opponent. So your first 2 hits of the special 2, those have the hammer arm attacks. Each have a 40% chance to inflict an armor break on the opponent. Your heavy attack also has a guaranteed armor break. So if you lead into the special 2 with a heavy attack, you have a good chance to stun the opponent. So once you get a plasma passive up, the opponent just starts to melt. And once you get 2, the damage it feels insane for certain fights, especially in Act 6. And for health pools over like 500,000, it's very hard to get more than 2 or 3 plasma passives on the opponent. So he's more built for larger health pools when it comes to his damage output, but he still works pretty well in normal cases. There was also Venom the Duck on this path. I had to fight him to get to the teleporter for this path, but it doesn't really matter. That Venom the Duck fight was kind of boring, and it just took too long, and it's just the same thing that you saw in the Deadpool showcase. So this is a Limber, Bane, and Power Shield node. And as you can see here, I just slipped up, but that unblocked the special one saved me. And instead of quitting out and restarting so I could show you guys a perfect fight, I wanted to show something pretty realistic. And playing Iron Man below 15% health is very realistic because his signature ability activates at 15% health. So when under 15% health, when awakened obviously, he generates power for every second that he has an armor up passive on, which is just awesome. It makes cycling specials super easy, and some people actually like to play him on lower healths just so they could do this. So based on SIG, you generate armor up passives based on your SIG level once you hit 15%. So if you have SIG 200, you automatically get 8 armor up passives. So coming up, I should have died because I mistimed Bane, but there was a weird bug that happened, and I didn't take any damage from Bane. I was only taking 1 damage per second. So as you see here, when I slowed it, I'm degenerating for 1 damage per tick, which was really weird. But once I transferred Bane back and his indestructible fell off, it was an easy fight. And this is one of my favorite fights I've ever done with Iron Man. I start the fight at 2% health, and I end the fight with 2% health. I had perfect Bane transfers here, which rarely happens for me. I still struggle to pass Bane on at the right times, but I managed to do it perfectly this time. But here, I was able to race up to the Special 2 very easily due to his signature ability. So on the Special 2, which I regret using, I should have used the Special 3. But on the Special 2, if you don't incinerate the opponent, you armor break them if they have an armor up. which is still pretty useful, but I would have rather waited till I got my special 3 just so I can get that plasma passive on and have that damage over time ticking and ticking. So with Iron Man's block proficiency being so high, you can, if you're confident enough, parry, and as you see I took 0 damage on the parry. So if you're confident enough and you know you'll land the parry, you can do it and you'll be fine at any percentage of the health, unless the opponent has block penetration or if you have an incinerate, which would kill you if you're at this low of health, but that's besides the point. So it was pretty much good night for Colossus at this point. Yeah, I just used a special 1 here to make sure I transfer the Bane perfectly, and that was the end of Colossus. So next up we have a solo of the Labyrinth of Legends Starlord fight. I used a Magneto pre-fight to bypass the limber mechanic that Labyrinth has. And using this pre-fight makes it super easy to ramp up the damage, because when you want to land off a heavy, just parry Starlord. And I've done it before without the pre-fight, but it was really hard to do. And I was panicking a lot of the times because I didn't want my plasma debuffs to fall off. So this Starlord has 3.3 million health, which is more than the average Abyss opponent, I believe. Most Abyss opponents are at 2.5 million health. And you could play this fight in less hits if you run Iron Man below 15% health, which is very doable because he's super sustainable and he's got really high block proficiency. So this leads me to ask, why hasn't anyone tried using him yet? And I mean, I have my answer for myself. He's hard to use. And if you can't incinerate the opponent and you can't shock them, then you can't ramp up his damage, which sucks, but that's just how it is. And on the easy path, there's a Omega Red. He has, I think, 2.5 or 2.6 million health, and Iron Man obviously has a class advantage. You can shock him, you can incinerate him, and you don't need to do full 5-hit combos to keep up your plasma debuffs. All I have to do is land 1 medium, and there's no limber mechanic in the Abyss, so you don't have to worry about not being able to parry. So all you gotta do is parry, land 1 medium, and just try to keep your distance and don't get backed up in the corner. And the reason why I'm showing Starlord instead of Realm of Legends Winter Soldier is that this really showcases that Iron Man's damage ramp up is infinite. As long as you can incinerate the opponent, and if you can shock them, you can infinitely ramp up your damage. And at the end of this video, you'll see like the damage is pretty nuts. It's like 18,000 damage per second just from debuffs. And yeah, there are some characters who have better ramp up, but it's cool because there's not many characters who do have infinite ramp up potential. So that's about it for me. The video is going to keep going because there's still a whole Labyrinth fight to go, but I'll just put some music on in the background. So like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new. I have a Discord that will be in the description. Feel free to join. There's not much people in there right now, but I'm trying to get it growing because I want it to be a place where everyone helps each other. But it's just a place to hang out. I like helping people, so if you guys see this and you join the Discord and you want a video made, if you look at my playlist titles, those are all videos that I can make for you. So if you want like a For Dummies video, like a tutorial, I can make one of those for you. If you want a damage test showcasing the damage on someone that I have in my roster, I'll make that for you too. If you want a synergy showcase, I'll make that too. I'll make anything in that list. And I'm also accepting submissions for certain videos that I might not have characters for, but if, like for example, the Sleeper Champs playlist that I made, that's a playlist for underrated characters. If you have someone that you feel is very underrated, and I'm not gonna put like a video of Iron Patriot on there, but like if you have someone like Wasp that you want to show off and say, hey, she's good for this and good for this, not a lot of people are using her, send it my way and I'll put it on my channel. I'll give you credit, and hopefully we'll allow people to see the full potential of that character. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you for the next one.
what we do here is go back.